1, 2, 3, action. What's up guys, Fahan here with Zah once again, and we are back at Far Motor with the man himself, Fahmi.
Welcome back.
And today is a very unusual episode for us because we're going to do something that is unique to us Singaporean riders, in which is DIY. I'm sure in Singapore we have never, like, how to say, the DIY culture is not as prevalent as in other countries.
Yeah.
Because of the culture of usually sending our bikes to motor shop, to the workshop, and let the workshop handle 100%.
Maybe because we are already being more affluent, we pay extra for convenience rather than getting our hands dirty.
Not only that, I think our current landscape doesn't really allow us to DIY.
But of course, there's also a few things that you can actually practice, of course, safely lah, by making sure that you don't make the place dirty, clean up after you do up your motorbike. So today, what I'm going to share with you guys is actually something very simple. Okay, not so simple lah. Can be quite hard for some of you lah. Okay, quite hard for some of you, but of course, if you do it properly, you can actually do it yourself. We're going to cover on how you can actually DIY your brake pads changing, and also DIY your brake bleeding. Okay, these two things are the most common, the most important parts of the motorbike. Your braking. Without proper braking, how fast you can go, but if you don't brake or don't stop efficiently, it's also defeat the purpose, I can say.
Okay lah. So before Fahmi actually shares on how to change our brake pad and brake bleed, gonna see the tools required.
And all these tools you can actually get it from like Shopee or your local hardware store. It's a very basic tool. The tools that you need are actually very common tools that you can get from your hardware shop. For brake bleeding, right, all you need is a ratchet. Okay. For this case, I bring in 2 sizes, but 1 size is also good enough. A ratchet handle, 8mm spanner, a Phillips screwdriver, your brake fluid, brake pads, and a brake pad cleaner. Okay, this is to actually clean your brake caliper, all this lah. And also, if you want to get like a semi-professional kit lah, I can say, you can get this kit from Shopee. It's a manual brake bleeding tool that you can actually bleed your brake by pumping the air lah out of from the brake system. And also this one, this is a special tool. This one is optional lah. If you want to use or you don't want to use, also can. But what is the purpose of this tool is to actually to push back the piston of the brake caliper back to its original position. Because when you use your brake, right, your piston will press the brake pads against the disc brake, so it will be protrude out. So it will be very hard to actually push back in. Okay.
So, but if don't have,
there's a way that you can actually push it back in before you actually open up the brake pads, right? You can use a minor screwdriver to actually just pry
open.
Yeah, just not say pry lah, like just push the piston back in before you open it up. Which I can show you later on. Later on I'll show you also how you can actually do that. Also, you need container to put all your screw. See, I forget. And of course, a lot of clean rugs. Okay, don't use dirty rugs.
Right.
Okay.
And then this one bottle.
Today special a bit. Not sponsored. Okay. I'm going to show you guys how you can do a DIY brake bleeding. If you don't use the brake kit, if you don't want to buy, you can actually make one by just using a water bottle, and you can do a manual bleeding. It's actually very simple. Just you need a water bottle and a hose.
This hose you can buy from fish aquarium.
Anywhere, hardware shop, 50 cents. No, it's very cheap lah, this one. So you buy one ice mountain, you drink finish, then you buy this one 50 cents. Okay, so before you proceed with the changing of your brake pads and doing a brake bleeding, right? Number one you need to do is to take care of your cover set. .4 or brake fluid is very acidic. It can destroy your paintwork or eat up into your paintwork. I actually prepare for you some cloth. You can actually put the cloth on top of your cover set because the master pump is right here. So you don't want to have any .4 or brake fluid drips into your master pump. Then I will always practice safety lah, double the protection. So I will wrap around the master pump also. Then you need to actually remove your brake pads from the brake caliper itself. So for Zah's bike, right, you need a minus screwdriver to open up the cover. So this is the caliper, right? This is the brake hose. So there's actually a screw lah for you to take out. So you just take out these 2 covers first.
Take out these 2 first.
Yeah. The container that we prepare just now, I always practice to just dump everything in.
Okay.
So you won't lose anything lah. The second one, you can actually take a size 5 Allen key and remove the screw inside.
Oh, there's another.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So basically just now that's just the cover lah.
That's just the cover lah. So the screw won't get rusty or this lah.
Panjang Syul.
Just leave it there, then remove the other one. For today's video, right, Zah, we're not going to take any shortcut or some mechanics they do very fast, right? If you go to a workshop, I'm just going to show you the proper way to do things lah. So,
Until like that only
yeah,
Is it?
until
Okay.
that can already. Then you can actually remove the bolt that secure the caliper. How you can actually hold the tool properly, like that. So when you want to remove a bolt, right? Okay, don't do this. Don't practice this way. One hand hold the head of the bolt, like you see my finger. Repeat the other hand. This one I hold it firm. The other hand I push down. Alright. Okay, so now you can actually remove the brake caliper itself.
Okay.
Just wiggle it around a bit, pull it out.
Okay. So what's
so
next?
now Zah actually remove his brake caliper. Achievement unlock. As you can see, how long Zah you never change your brake pad?
Oh my god.
So there's no more nothing already. So in this case, right, for Zah's caliper, he just need to push. By the way, Zah, you want to share what bike you're riding, right?
I'm riding a CB190X.
CB190X. So
Honda
actually
Tourism.
all the CB190 is the same one. They have the same engine and the same caliper. So if you are riding the CB190, you can actually use this video as a reference.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So you just pull that. Okay, now the screw that holding the brake pad is out. You can actually see your brake pad will come out automatically.
Okay.
Yeah, so Zah, this is what you have been riding on.
Almost tin.
Yeah, so let's show the new one to our viewers.
Fresh brake pads.
Oh my god, rabak Syazah.
Okay apa?
Okay.
Okay apa? Masih ada lagi sikit je.
The next step before you actually put on a new brake pad, what you want to do is to actually open up the brake pump reservoir on your handlebar.
Okay.
So just now you prepare putting on the cloth. So I have another cloth. I just put down here to cover your rims. Okay, to make sure that your rims won't get any brake fluid later on when you do the bleedings. Before we open up, do you think your brake fluid dirty or clean?
I think looks like clean.
Looks like clean. Let's find out.
Okay.
Moment of truth. Moment of truth. Wow, it's quite clean, but as you can see, yeah, quite low the brake fluid. So the next thing, right, once you open your brake reservoir from the master pump, you can see these two pistons, right? You actually want to push this back in. So if this piston is out, you cannot put your new brake pad. What you need to do, right, you actually need to push this two piston back into its original position. So you remember the helicopter tool that you call it just now? Helicopter. Okay? I'm just going to show you one and I'll let you do the other one. So you just position your thing and just turn the T-handle in. And okay. If for the viewers, right, if you never open up the brake reservoir on top and if let's say there's a lot of fluid, then there's no pressure to push back the fluid out. Then you have a hard time pushing this back in.
I see.
So make sure to actually put the cloth and push.
Oh, so in case overflow.
So as you can see, now there's more fluid, right, on top?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why if you don't open your reservoir pump above, right, then you have problems when you want to push the piston back in. It will never go back in. Okay. So now let's try the other side, Zah. Your turn.
Helicopter.
Zah, now you have already pushed the both pistons all the way in. Okay. You must remove the whole helicopter thing out. Okay. The next step, right? Remember the part cleaner? Always I like to practice to clean the brake caliper lah. So all you can see the brake dust, right? You can actually just do one. You can see just clean. No need to clean 100% lah, but just at least make it look better.
You don't need to use a brush and scrub or what?
You can, but yeah, the purpose of this is to just make sure there's not much brake dust inside. Okay, because you don't want to scratch the inner part of the piston. Okay, so now you already push back the piston. It's time for you to put back the piston. So there's two sides. Okay, so the one side you must be down here. Okay, just put it like that. The other side, you see this C on the metal rod, and just like that. So now I'm just going to open back and let you try.
Push inside.
Yes, push. Yeah, that's it. Correct.
Alright, that's good.
Okay.
Okay, now it's time for you to lock back the brake pads. Make sure the brake pads are in position, in place. Okay, so this case, right, you just need to push in the brake pads. Okay. Once it's in, as you can see, the back one is not in, right?
Okay.
Pull back it, pull back out. Just let me put out on this.
Okay. So is it secure? Okay.
Yeah, it's secure. So you take your Allen key size 5 and tighten it.
Just tighten lightly, okay?
Yeah, just tighten until you cannot tighten anymore. That's good enough. Things to take note, right? When you change your brake pads, to make sure that your brake pads are sitting in the correct position. Okay, you don't want your brake pads to be in a different position, or you put it the other way around, and make sure to use the correct brake pad lah. Some brake pads might look different, but it's not the same brake pad that you want.
You mean might look the same?
Sorry, might look the same. Yeah, correct. And it's not the same. It's not the brake pad that you want lah. Okay.
So correct or not?
Good job. So now we want to install it back. Okay, so put back the bolts that you remove. So you got technical background or any mechanical background?
No lah. Last time I used to DIY repair my own Vespa. I used to take out my own piston block and then clean my
I want to hire this guy. I want to hire this guy. Can take out piston block, can become mechanic already. Yeah, just do it. Just do it like that. Okay, but you don't want to tighten it all the way. You want to tighten bit by bit. So when you tighten, it's equal. It's not just one-sided. So you tighten both ways in. After you finish tighten, right? Like what Zah did, right? I always give a bit of torque. So I just go like torque a bit to make sure it's really tightened. Don't go like Super Saiyan mode lah. Just a bit. Okay, that's good enough. So it's now for you to put back the cover. Okay, so it's just like a keyhole cover lah, like that lah. Anything happen, it won't get rusty lah. So no need to go all out. Just a bit also can.
So even if you lose this piece, it doesn't really affect.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect lah. But it's best to actually the cover is there for a purpose lah, so that rainwater or water won't get into the screw thread
and then rusty. Okay, correct.
Rusty, then the mechanic will have problem already lah to open up all these
chain bike lah.
Chain bike because of one caliper. Congratulations, you actually changed your own brake pad now, but we are not done yet. You still need to break the brake lines. Okay. It's a good practice when you change a new brake pad. Always give a new brake fluid to your motorbike. Okay, so Zah, just now I actually tell you and share with you that I'm going to show you how to actually make your own DIY bottle kit lah, for you to bleed your brakes when you are at your convenience lah. Okay, like just now I have the water bottle, right? So we need a water bottle and we need a hose. So to make it, just need a screwdriver, water bottle, needle it, okay, and then just poke, okay, like that, simple. So just make the hole, make it a little bit bigger, and then just put the hose through the water bottle. That's it. Okay, now you can
How big is the hose actually I need to?
Depends lah. Sometimes you see your nipple of the caliper. Okay, the bigger the nipple, the bigger the hose. Okay, for this one, once we have this, okay, you just need to remove the cover for the bleeder valve, and then just put it inside, just like that. For this case, right, once we actually connect the bottle to the bleeder hose, I need your help. Okay, I will go and do it for you and for the viewers also, but I need you to help me to put the brake fluid into the brake pump.
Oh, okay.
And your job is to make sure that the brake pump doesn't go dry. Okay, why we cannot make it go dry? If not, we will introduce air into the brake system, then it will be much more longer process. You just want to make sure, right, you don't overfill until it flow out lah. That's about it. Okay, so what I want to do now, you see this old fluid, right? I'm going to drain it all out with just a few simple steps.
Is there any level to maintain?
For now, just as long as it don't overflow first.
Okay.
When you want to bleed your brake caliper, right, you need your 8mm spanner and you must locate the bleeder valve. Okay, all you need to do is to open up your brake bleeder valve. In the same time, there's a few steps that you need to make sure that your hand is on the brake lever. So step 1 is to depress your brake, and then step 2 is to release, and then close and release the pump. As you can see, if I do it fast, you can see, right, the fluid is coming up. So I press the brake lever, release, close and let go. Press, release, close and let go. So this is the pressure that you want. A good pressure on your brake line. So there's no air introduced to the system, and there's new brake fluid in the master pump. So that's about it. All done. All you need to do now is to close everything back. Once you close, tighten back everything, just to make sure with using the part cleaner, right, clean the brake caliper for any excess oil that drip out from the hose lah just now. Then you can remove your rack, okay, and protect your rim also. Okay, so once you close the master pump, right, I want you to test your brake. Okay, is it a good pressure for you?
Okay.
More firm?
If I want to make it more firm,
then you need to bleed again. But sometimes, right, for this one, right, it's good enough. If it's too firm, then
no free play.
Yeah, there's no free play. Okay, so after this, right, you just clean the top.
Okay.
Dah.
Okay.
Habis.
Wow. I changed my own brake pad and brake fluid. Wow. Okay lah, technically not my own lah. Not I do on my own.
But yeah, it's possible to do it on your own lah. For the rear brake, right, you need to locate where is your brake pump reservoir for the rear brake. So for your bike, right, it's inside this panel. So we need to open up this side panel here. Put one side, tada! You can see your brake pump reservoir. Okay, so just I want to remove this slightly to remove the top 2 screws. So once you remove these 2 screws, you can see your brake fluid for the rear pump.
Not so low.
So, okay, as you can see for Zah, right, his bike, where we open up the reservoir, the brake fluid is quite low. So what does this mean? Usually the brake pad is eaten up, or you never do your brake bleeding for quite some time already.
3 years already. This bike I buy 3 years, haven't
do any brake bleeding.
Okay. Haven't do any
So
brake.
this brake fluid is 3 years old. Okay. So same thing as the front one. You need to remove the screw that holding the brake pads. Okay, so for the rear brake pad, right, you just need to open the cover also, and there's a screw inside the cover. Okay, and you just remove the screw. There you go. You can use your ratchet lah to take out the screw much more faster lah. Okay, so example, once you loosen the screw, right, then you remember the tool that we use, the helicopter thing to push back the piston. But what if you don't have that tool? You can use actually a minor screwdriver, right? Slot in the middle, then just be careful. Slowly push the piston back. But of course, before you push this piston back, you already open your reservoir cover. Okay, as you can see now, I'm slowly pushing it back, all the way back. Can see? Just now the brake pad is down here, right? I push slowly all the way to the back. So once you do that, you can actually completely remove the screw that holding the brake pad. Okay, so now we remove the screw that holding the brake pad. All you need to do is to remove the brake pad itself.
So for the rear, you don't really need to take out the caliper. Remove the caliper from the what?
From the tire itself lah. You don't need lah. Actually, the front also, if you know how to do it, you don't need to remove it lah. But of course, if you want to remove it, you also can remove it. But because the design itself, right, you actually can remove it from the caliper itself. But some bike, yes, you need to remove the whole caliper to remove the brake pad. Okay? So now we have the new brake pads. It's time to install it into the bike.
So which one is which?
So
both same.
Both same. Just to make sure your brake pad is sitting in properly. So you will want to align the whole together. So I put in the screw and then I screw it back in. Okay. So now when we already install the new brake pads, right, Zah? You need to cover back the screw cover hole. Okay, for the back one they use like a rubber lah. Okay, and then remove the cover for the bleeder valve. Same thing with the front. Size 8, but this time instead of using the bottle, right, we're going to use the pneumatic hand pump. There's a bottle and there's a few hoses. Okay, you can actually get this kit. I bought this kit at Shopee lah. It's around maybe $20, $30 for you to get it, and then you can use it for your friends. If you want to help your friends to change the brake pad, you can also use this pump. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to have a brake pump in hand. It's very handy. So like just now, same thing. Zah, you want to help me to put the brake fluid inside the reservoir? So for the hand pump, right, all you need to do is to just open up the bleeder screw, just about 1 or 2 turns, and then you just need to pump and brake pressure. So you can see all the brake fluid will flow out. That's what I mean by how easy it is to have a hand pump in hand. But of course, for my shop, I don't use a hand pump lah. We have an automatic pneumatic kit to suck out all the old brake fluid and put in the new one. Okay. Of course, it's much more faster, but also you need to exercise your forearm lah. So if you're doing for 10 of your friends, so 10 times the pain Good luck Pancit already So if you got 2 friends, right, who can help you, is much more easier lah. Okay, one will hold the hose for you to make sure it won't drip out, and the other one will help you to pump it. Okay, once you pump, and you put the new oil already, close the bleeder valve. That's it. So you can see the old fluid actually collected inside the bottle. And that's about it. All you need to do now is to close back everything that you open. Okay, so this one, don't need to go crazy on the tightening. You take back the cover, fix back it. Okay, once you close everything back in, Reza, you need to test your brake pad by pumping it. And there you go. There's a good pressure on the rear wheel.
Okay, so how do we clean our brake pads, brake?
Okay, so it's good to have a brake parts cleaner. Like for liquid moly, they have the rapid cleaner that you can clean your disc rotor, your disc brake, and also your brake caliper. Same thing, just spray to make sure everything is clean. That's it.
No need to scrub.
That's about it.
So, but the chemical, that fluid will not affect the.
No, it's a special ingredient lah. It's especially to clean brake pads.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, you are done. Okay, congratulations you actually managed to change your brake pads and do a brake bleeding by your own self lah. Okay, and I also hope the viewers out there can learn something from today.
If you can do simple maintenance like this, you don't have to fork out a lot of money to pay.
Of course, if you are not confident, it's best to have a mechanic or expert to do it for you lah. Okay, but if you want to try, want to learn, okay, you can actually use this video as a guide for you to actually do a proper bleeding. But you know how tiring it is, right? The forearm, keep pumping, or the manual way, okay, whichever, both way will work lah. And then you also learn how to change your brake pads and to make sure that your caliper is in good working condition also.
You know, I look at Zah working. Wow, interesting. Very intriguing to see the steps.
Not easy to become mechanic.
Yeah, it's not easy. And I think need some more practice if you really want to be proficient in it lah.
Yeah. Definitely. When I remember when the first time I learned, right, there's a lot of mistake along the way that I tend to make. Okay, of course, there's sometimes no brake pressure, all this, but of course you learn through the process. Okay, you fail and then you succeed, and then now I can teach you guys.
I think if you were to do this on your own, make sure you are near a shop.
Yeah. You come to Famoto, do outside Famoto.
Then if anything wrong, can just call him. So Zah, what is your takeaway from doing your own brake bleeding and changing of calipers?
I'm very excited actually to learn how to change my brakes and then do brake bleeding, because whenever I go to the workshop, they do for me. Some mechanics are not very comfortable for you to stand there and look how
pressure. Sometimes very pressure.
So some mechanics don't like being stared upon, So we want to learn how actually they do, because it is very interesting for people who like hands-on.
Yeah, guys, so once again, thank you to Fami and Famoto, and you guys can always come here and do your servicing and bike maintenance, and what other services you guys provide also?
Okay, for us, we actually provide from accident claim, from towing, from overhaul of your engine, like what we just did just now, which is a brake pad, servicing your all-round change tire, everything we do. Yeah, if you need a service from us, can actually drop by Famoto. We are located at Synergy, 25 Factory Bukit Road 4, 0531.
Yeah, don't forget to check out their Facebook page. Anything, can just inquire them lah. Yeah.
Hi guys, thank you for staying till the end of the video. To all the viewers out there, Tambak Overlanders and Famoto would like to give you guys a special promo code. Just code TAMBAK15 to enjoy 15% discount off your total bill, capped at $20. Enjoy!
So, alright guys, any riders want to video about us, to get in touch with us on our social media pages below.
If you have any questions or any comments about bike maintenance that you want to ask, just put them in the comment section below. Like and share this video with your riding kakis, and don't forget to subscribe. If you see us on the road or outside, don't forget to say hi.
And that's it for the vlog. We will see you in the next one. Okay.
Give me all of your lies, 'cause you're my demon in disguise.